Welcome to the Brisbane Property Podcast with your hosts Melinda and Scott Jennison.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Brisbane Property Podcast. My name's Scott Jennison from Streamline Property Buyers. I'm the Acquisitions Manager, along with Melinda, who will say a quick hello, and also Fergus from Northline today as a special guest. Welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes, welcome back, Fergus. I know that we've had you on our podcast previously. For those that may not remember Fergus, he's Irish, so he makes no apology for his accent. And in fact, I hope you enjoy this episode because you will have to really listen in to what he has to say. But more importantly than that, Fergus has got some fantastic intel to share with us today on what's actually happening in the construction industry here in Brisbane, because there's been a lot of fear instilled in the consumer from the media around the supply shortages, especially off the back of COVID. And of course, the cost increases. So we're here to dispel the myths, help you to understand what is still possible, what is still affordable, and what is a little bit tricky in that construction market at the moment. So I hope you enjoy this episode.
So a little bit of an overview. I catch up with you, Fergus, quite a bit out and about. So just so that our listeners can understand, ourselves at Streamline here, obviously buyers agents. And what we do is we help our clients when they purchase a property then to, whether it's some preventative maintenance, general maintenance, improvements to the property, and doing that type of thing. It's great to have someone like yourself, and you and I being builders, or me as an ex-builder, I'll call myself. And we can get together and talk about things for our clients to add that value. I think that's a great combination that we've got with you guys at Northline as well. Yeah,
we do all sorts. I mean, we've done, like you said, right down to the minor maintenance to extending some properties and everything in between, really.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, add value and
And you've got all the trades, obviously?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, absolutely. We've got all the trades. We use the same guys we've been using for years, since we met anyway. Most things on our side are manageable and we're getting through it. So pretty good.
Good.
And I think that, what's interesting to note is that a lot of the clients that we speak to and a lot of people that ring up to inquire about our services are surprised when we say, we can actually put you in touch with a builder who's able to get the job done fairly quickly for you, because the assumption in the market is that, builders are not available, builders are unaffordable, construction is too expensive at the moment. So, I think it provides a level of reassurance knowing that when you're partnering with a team that have the contacts to make sure that if you are going to do any renovation or improvement works, that you are able to lock in someone at a reasonable cost without, one, overpaying, and two, waiting months or years on end to get the work done.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, the fear definitely is out there. And it's not that it's untrue. I mean, like so many areas, I suppose it comes back to who you know.
Yeah, that's right.
At the time, So in our instance, you're buying for your clients. You and I have got a good relationship. So we put you as, right at the top of the list of any works that needs to get done. But yeah, absolutely. A couple of jobs recently, there was, I believe your clients were kind of taken aback and like, really, you can get a builder? I mean, they actually, even from you telling them, they also, once we got in touch with, once you passed them on to us, they were actually asking the same, is this legit? Can you really do it? But, most things we can. Yeah. But it is that thing. There is a fear out there. If you're cold calling builders, they probably are many, many months, even, over years away to do what you absolutely. But in our case, working for you guys, most things we can get done for sure.
I probably look at it as a bit of an after sales service. That's probably the way I look at it. And for our clients, when we actually purchase a property, and it's early days, like when we start to look at a property, and if there's an opportunity or they secure it, I'll be straight in contact with you and we'll say, look, let's get together, let's try and meet and have a look at the property, get things organized so it is prepared and it gives you as much notice as possible. Yeah. And as you say, you then give our clients that service to help through the process.
Yep. Absolutely.
And what's interesting, what you said there, Fergus, was that for any person to just pick up the phone and ring a builder or ring a tradesman directly, there may be delays. And those people may be told, look, we don't have availability because, they're dealing directly consumer to builder or consumer to trade. Whereas having that relationship to make that introduction, as you say, there's certain relationships that you'll prioritize the service when the referral comes through.
Most
and obviously that's business, okay, and that's how you can provide a premium service for clients.
It is, absolutely. You know, since before Christmas, there is, you know, surplus, won't say surplus, but there's definitely additional materials on hand. People are stocking up, suppliers. But most definitely, you know, we work as a builder, we work closely with our reps. That's, you know, we've got reps on electrical, plumbing, whatever. But definitely, if you're calling as a whoever, you know, you might get over the phone, you know, we don't have that, or we just, that is how it is. So that fear still is out there that, you know, calling for timber or whatever, the builders are taking priority over people, the unknowns, over the phone. It's nothing against anybody, but that is what's out there, you know. So I guess a lot of fear stemming from that.
Yes.
You can imagine calling, looking for some timber, and the supplier saying, "Oh no, God, no." That's going to spread. That negative is going to spread very quickly through it. Where most builders, you know, with the relationships they've got, are able to access the materials to do, you know, some significant jobs in the current market. Yeah.
And when you say access materials, I'm assuming that there's a difference between accessing the materials that would be required for a new build of a, you know, 300-400 square meter house versus, you know, minor improvements or small extension works. Can you just help us understand the difference in the volume of what, you know, someone might be ordering and how that might impact or delay?
I mean, look, I can only speak for, you know, my own company. And so with anything that we do, we're very confident that we could do anything up to, you know, 60 or 70 square meter of an extension, which is significant extension, and anything back from that. So there's not many, there wouldn't be many internal renovations we wouldn't be able to manage. Most certainly, you know, your basic improvements, anything up to high-end improvements, is definitely manageable from what we do anyway. And extensions, and, you know, anything up to.
And I think people get caught up. People really do get caught up in that construction. And I know you hear it in the media, and you hear it everywhere about, you know, construction's doom and gloom and they can't get materials. And look, there's some massive big infrastructure projects happening, especially here in Brisbane, where they're doing that. You've got to understand, and I know that, you know, we did some commercial industrial projects ourselves. So you're talking about massive amounts of concrete, steel, you know, timber, all those. When you're talking in mass amounts of material, you've got to be super organized. You've got to have the right contacts, and there can be delays. For sure. There's always delays. Yeah, but when you're talking about smaller projects, if you come down to sort of some, as you said, those extensions, internal refurbs, improvements to properties, generally you can get that material at the moment, can't you? Yeah, most definitely. Absolutely. No question. We can get any materials to do anything up to a 60 or 70 square meter or even more extension of a house. I mentioned the extension because it gives you an idea of, you're essentially building a smaller house and beside your house. So anything that comes with that, you know, your cable, your roof, your plaster, your paint, for that size, we can most certainly get. Probably more, but yes, when you're doing the, you know, 300, 400 square meter new development, multi-story, there's going to be a weight of materials. Absolutely. Even with the best builder, there's going to be 16, 20 weeks for roof trusses. That's definitely happening. There's no. And is that a combination? Sorry, the roof truss, is that a combination of the labor as well as the timber? Because obviously, when you buy timber, sticks of timber, you can buy it. When you buy trusses, they're manufactured. So you're relying. So yes, if you want to get into the macro, yes, I'm sure it is partially the labor, the backlog, the weights. But probably stems from the shortage of material itself, and every rolls from there, you know. But so if we talk about some of the things that, you know, typical home buyers or investors might be looking at when it comes to a purchase and a small renovation or a purchase with minor improvements, you know, for example, a lot of the properties that we would look at for property investors, we may recommend fans and air conditioning be installed, which improves the rentability of the property. Are there delays on those sorts of things at the moment? Unless you're looking for, instead of going through a long list of what I can get, I'll go through the short list of what we can't get, which would be, unless you're looking for specific items to maybe match what's already in the house. So, you know, the particular type of aircon, let's say, I'm talking high-end aircons, maybe the Bluetooth and all the stuff. There can be a delay on that type of stuff. This is not a one-size-fits-all answer by any means, but it just,
the more particular you get, you kind of get into a shorter list of what's available.
Yes.
If you're looking for a particular grade of air conditioner, like most people want a decent, Fujitsu or Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
There's no delays.
No delays at all.
Absolutely not. People, our own electricians, are overstocking. They're buying extra to keep in their own stores. We've got in our own offices currently, we've got air conditioners, 2.5s, 5s, lots of them. So fans, again, 99% of a decent fan, there's no issue.
Stock.
If you're looking for a particular, I think we crossed one in a job recently in Wilston. The guy had remember there was a real fancy fan. Look, I don't think there's an issue with that, but just an example of where you could get caught.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that one fan or that one aircon wouldn't be a reason for us to not start any works.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or anybody for that matter. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
You can get majority of the bulk items if you got to get in a queue for a particular item. What we've been told is you will get it. It's just that there can be a wait on specific.
Now, I know you've got a bit of details to help our listeners understand sort of materials and things like that, because you work with all these reps. Before we get to it, the clients that we work with, they could be local, they could be interstate, they can be international. I know you've worked with some clients multiple times.
Absolutely,
There's a client we talked about earlier before we got on air, a client from Singapore that we've helped 3 properties, and you've worked 3 times with same client.
Yeah, so we did. We going back 2 or 3 years now, I think. But they've bought multiple properties to you guys.
Yeah.
We've done the initial works to add rentability. I think fans, floor coverings, window coverings, painting, probably other items I can't think of now. But to increase the rentability, and they've bought multiple properties from you guys since. We're now returning to one of the properties to do a bathroom renovation on one. But they're Singapore. We've never met. We just it's email, it's FaceTime, it's the modern technology, and it can be done. It's nothing anymore. It's not difficult. It's as easy working for someone in Singapore as it is someone 5 minutes up the road.
It's about having someone that you trust. Absolutely. And a relationship that is solid, so that once you know who you can rely upon to help you with minor renovations, improvement works, you've got that contact forever. And of course, a repeat client is more valuable than a new client in a lot of respects. So it's always great when they come back to utilize your services, and it means that you've done a good job first time as well. So
the level of trust after a job or two makes it, it makes it streamlined process.
Yeah, pun intended.
But it's a good thing.
Another one, I'm just sort of picking a few properties that come into mind, and we have a little bit of a saying that we talk about when we look at property, is that people really select locations, where they want to live, or where they want to buy, whether it's to live or where they want to invest. So we have a bit of a saying that you can change the house, but you can't change the location.
Yeah.
So you're buying the right location. Now, there is an example of some people that relocated actually from Sydney. Perfect, really lovely property, and you and I both went up there recently to the property. It just needed an extra bedroom, and we managed to have a look at it in the floor plan, and we've tweaked it. I call it a tweak.
It is.
Others might call it a little bit than that, but we've actually managed to change that floor plan a little bit to create an extra bedroom. It's a perfect house for the people. Great location, and they're going to get that extra bedroom, which suits their family lifestyle. And that's the sort of thing, we literally met up there, talked through the ideas, you've quoted it all up, and that sort of thing adds massive value for people like that. Absolutely. When they can get in the right area.
Like you said, it's their dream property. They just needed that extra bedroom.
Yeah.
So, once we met there, you had the initial kind of plan drawn up yourself, and we talked a few through a few things. Some things you might have missed, I picked up on, and vice versa. But ultimately, we came together with a plan, and that's happening now. And in the end, he'll get his extra bedroom and whatever. I think he's doing other bits and pieces there at the same time. But it'll be brilliant.
Bit of maintenance at the same time, and that's the other thing I will touch on is not only just doing that little bit of work, but doing the maintenance on properties up front and trying to get that bit of work done.
That's another thing people seem surprised when, you've mentioned to your clients or whoever that we'll build you extension. You know what? We'll also reseal your shower in 6 months from now or whatever it needs, and we'll fix that door handle. That is in our scope.
Yep.
Most definitely, people are surprised when they hear that. Oh, you'll maintain, or you'll do the smallest of maintenance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about keeping that
relationship.
The returning customer, biggest to the smallest. As a client, or as any past client or a future client, it's what we offer. Some people I want the big jobs only, and I'm not interested in smaller stuff. It's most definitely not us. We will return to fix that door handle if or whatever afterwards.
I just wanted to circle back for the clients that you're assisting at the moment, and adding that extra bedroom, because for a property buyer, most buyers have a very specific brief in terms of what type of home they might be looking for. Even investors, location becomes the primary priority, and that should be the case for home buyers as well, because you can't change that location. But having the eyes and the ability to understand how floor plans can be tweaked, but also understanding what the associated cost is upfront, can be absolutely invaluable for property buyers, because it helps them to broaden their scope. And sometimes people are looking for something that is very, very unique in the market and therefore does not exist very often. So having a team that can actually broaden the scope and allow you to consider more opportunities, providing you're up for some minor inconvenience post-purchase, it actually enables people to consider more homes when they are looking to buy than they otherwise would be able to consider. Take, for example, someone that might be looking at a 4-bedroom home. They will eliminate from their search anything that only has 3 bedrooms. As professional, buyer's agents, we would consider anything that has 3 bedrooms with the ability to convert or add or extend if the location is perfect. But not only that, helping them understand the cost. And obviously that's where our relationship with you, Fergus, becomes really important, because the relevance of current costs is critical before people make a buying decision, because I think a lot of people underestimate the cost of construction. And I think because of the fear that's instilled in people over the recent construction boom, there's even a fear of, or rather at the moment, some people are overestimating the cost and not realizing that, minor tweaks can actually be quite.
Unfortunately, the negative travels faster than the positive.
It does.
That's I think the way we're all programmed. But most certainly, people, with us anyway, we'll certainly, in the shortest period of time after you and I meet on site or whoever, we'll give a bit of a budget to
cost estimate.
And that saves so much time.
Yes.
People can say, it's above our budget. Let's wait, or let's make think of a different plan. But that's all right. It saves both parties going down this road thinking it's going to be such a cost, when in reality it can get expensive.
Absolutely.
And you and I, a little bit of a secret for everyone. I mean, you and I do touch base occasionally. We could be looking at a property for a client, and you and I can touch base, and I'll say, look, this is how much I'm thinking it's going to cost. Can you throw your eye over it? You do that. The client might not even buy. So, we do that as a bit of a,
but that's
freebie in a way.
That's a good thing, isn't it? I mean, it saves people either can make a decision on a spot, saves being brought down a road or whatever, thinking it's going to be one cost and it turns out to be so much more.
It gives them confidence to know that they've got people looking at it saying, this is what we budget it for. And then if they secure the property, we can come in and sort of pull it all apart and break it all down for them and make it very accurate, so that you can actually do the work as well.
As a client, I would imagine it can be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow to hear that their budget's not going to get them what they want as far as adding room. But I think it's better early on in the game than 6 months down the road and thinking, oh my God, I thought it was going to be 50,000 and it ends up being whatever. So, it's sooner the better, I think, for decisions like that or information like that.
Different types of projects. I know we talked about a couple with changing floor plans. I mean, things like, as we said, painting, ceiling fans, air conditioning, that type of thing. I know we talked about the maintenance, and I'm usually one that I guess I probably turn around to some people, because some people you say, oh, you should really do that little bit of maintenance and do it now, spend a bit of money up front, because I say you'll save money in the long run. I sometimes turn it around to, if you own a car, and people go and get their car serviced every 6 or 12 months, and that's such a small
investment.
Investment. I won't call it a great asset because generally they go down in value, but with houses, people they just sort of leave them sit there.
Yeah,
they don't tend to do that ongoing maintenance of properties.
I mean, I think you're right. You're definitely onto it with the initial walkthrough can pick up on items that, the previous might have noticed, or the sales agent, whoever.
Yeah.
That can certainly, you pick up a lot of items and then we usually carry them out. Can save a lot of future, even maintenance.
Yeah.
But yes, people don't seem to look at properties as the same as they do with their car. I mean, what do you mean? It needs maintenance every 6 months. It needs my house needs a service. Well, yeah, it kind of does. Stuff's going to break. Stuff, even if
wears out.
Don't wait for it to break. Get there first and just maintain it. And washers and taps, reseal on shower. I mean,
door handle you mentioned.
Absolutely. You don't wait for it to fall off because it can be left, and then that next thing you need a new door.
Yeah.
You wouldn't leave your car too long because you need a new engine eventually.
Yeah.
From a simple service. But that's a real thing that definitely gets overlooked or and underestimated.
Yeah.
In property. So there's a lot of things that can save you quite some time and heartache, I suppose, really.
And I'll take that one step further to obviously say we are aware as property investors that there's new tenancy laws being brought in around minimum standards for the property, and there's potentially going to be a lot of properties that won't comply. And therefore that's going to be a risk to landlords. So, it is important when you are considering becoming an investor, or in fact, if you are already a property investor, that you understand the level of maintenance that is required on a property. I know when we're working with property investors, we will always allow for an annual maintenance cost. We cost that into our projections so that we're not making any false, ideas around what it actually costs to hold a property, because I think a lot of property investors focus on a gross yield. The rent that you actually achieve from the tenant, the amount of rent that a tenant pays can be irrelevant if you're actually spending more and more each week, on maintaining that property. So the actual quality of the property matters. And if you're buying something and spending that money up front to prevent future maintenance costs, it's actually going to cause a greater return, more money in your pocket at the end of the day as a property investor. And that's the reason why we invest. Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, you as a builder have that, experience to pick up on things that I think other parties don't. You put forward your summary of items. Generally, I'll pick up on some other items even. And look, it gets put forward. Some things don't get done. That's fine. But we put it forward, same as you highlighting, like, this may cost this. There is an ongoing maintenance cost that needs to be factored in. People might get lucky and you might need anything for a few years.
That's right.
That does happen. But it needs to be factored in. It really does. Properties are, they need work like everything.
So I know you've done some homework for us to give people an idea of what you can and what you can't get. And I know we touched on the smaller and the bigger sort of things. So when you break down in materials for jobs, what's readily available and what are we short on at the moment in the construction side of it?
I mean, without the short version, I think I'll say what's maybe not as accessible, and I think we've kind of covered it anyway. Timber, roof trusses, treated pine can be short and hard to access on the bigger jobs. Anything smaller than your 60 or 70 square meter, we're very confident we can get. Our suppliers are, they're overstocking now because of just that fear is in everybody, even the suppliers, So they're overstocking on timber. So we've been told just this week, I've had to put this together, that no issues on anything, up to 50 or 60 square meter extension, any minor renovations, anything like that. No issues there. Again, repeating myself, but with the specific type of air cons and electrical items, there can be waits generally across the board. There's no issues. People are overstocking as well, even though they don't need to, but they are just in case. Decking is good. What else we got? PVC and sheet metal, there is longer wait times than there was. You're looking at 6 to 8 weeks for stuff like that, which is, to be honest, that's well manageable if you're, if you're organized, absolutely. But to bring it back, if you're cold calling and you're getting there, it's months away over the phone, of course you're going to lose heart immediately. If you're organised, it can be got. Any other items with plumbing is pretty good. What else have I got there?
So what about electrical wiring and things like that? I know you talked about air conditioning.
Yeah, no, wiring's
like
good.
Yep.
Good, yeah. I mean, our electricians and anybody we know are just overstocking. I don't think they need to.
Yep.
Christmas was a bit sluggish before Christmas. Things have definitely rectified there. But they're just stocking stuff just in case, it takes a bit of a lull again.
Mm-hmm.
So in the current market, we've got no issues there with cabling. Cabinetry can be a bit of a issue.
Yep.
I'm not really sure why that is. There seems to be timber. It's probably more of a trade shortage in the cabinet maker field.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at custom cabinetry, it doesn't have to be high end. More custom, I mean, to match what you've already got in a house.
Yeah.
Like I'm rearranging my kitchen. I'm keeping most, but I want to add some stuff. That can be a bit of a drama. I don't think it's the timber. I think it's more the labor shortage in that area. So there is certainly 8-12 weeks plus wait on custom cabinetry. If you're just doing a kitchen, you're looking for stuff maybe like Caboodle or IKEA or whoever else is out there, even new from cabinet makers, it's a lot more accessible. But the custom to match what I've got seems to be a bit of a
delay,
bit of a wait. So that's definitely needed.
So it sounds a bit more like what we'd call probably more of a special order. So if you said, special order in air conditioning and appliances, I would have thought general. If it's a special order,
if it's a special, if it's a Bosch, actually, yes, Bosch. There's a bit of a wait on Bosch items. I'm not sure why that is. Import probably. Not all items, but that's just what our suppliers have told us. So if you're looking to match you need a Bosch hot plate to match your Bosch oven, you might
have a delay.
Hit a bit of a delay there, but generally things are pretty good. But with the cabinetry, you're right. It's custom. It's specialized kind of stuff.
Mate, I think we've done a pretty good cover and a bit of an update there. I think for everyone.
Okay.
Getting in touch with you now. I know I hear you're doing a little bit of a podcast here yourself, and so, how do people get in contact with?
So get in contact with us. You'll find us on social media, internet, website, whatever. We're at northlinedevelopments.com.au. You'll find our emails on there, any contacts. But yes, we are running our own podcast series. I decided 6 months ago there was so many questions similar to what we're talking about this morning. Can I get this? Can I get that? So I decided, you know what, there's so many unanswered questions, and instead of trying to answer them to everybody, I said, I'll put it out there. So we do a series, I think there's 10 or 11 episodes now. We cover quoting, and in that we cover the scope of works, the process that we use, how important it is to maybe get a figure put forward as soon as we can. We cover electrical items. Again, there's so much to know on electrical items. We do, especially with the older properties, we focus a lot on the older properties. We do a painting episode. We do a waterproofing. We do Q&A sessions, which seem to be very popular, actually. We just cover stuff, stuff unknowns. We talk about asbestos and how asbestos can be hidden behind a gyprock wall, and how your electric on the wall can look fine, but in the attic it's a completely different story. Things that so often get overlooked, and it really, you don't know what's behind the wall.
That's right.
Things like that,
It's helping people and educating. Which is what it's all about.
You'll get that on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts.
And what's the name of the podcast?
Sorry, the Builders Podcast.
The Builders
We should start
Podcast.
with that. The Builders Podcast, spelled the normal way. You'll find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Builders Podcast, Northline Developments.
Northline Developments.
So we've worked with you guys. The team's great. Well organised and always reliable, I say. So mate, look, I will I'll let Melinda wrap it up. Thanks very much for coming in to have a chat.
Thanks for having me.
It's always good to talk. We talk regularly.
I looked up. It was episode 29. I was here, so that's a while.
Oh, was it?
That is a while ago.
That's a while ago.
We're well into.
I was here last. So
Yes, that was a very long time, and hasn't the market and the building industry changed a lot in that time?
It certainly has. I don't believe we talked about any shortages then.
No,
it's just what you can do, and you can do anything.
Absolutely.
Episode 29. We're a lot smarter now, aren't we?
I'd like to think so.
Thanks, Fergus. Really appreciate it. It's been great having another chat. As usual, I will let Melinda wrap it up again. Thanks very much for listening, and bye for now.
Yes, thanks, Fergus. We love sharing your intel with our audience, and you've added a lot of value today, helping people understand that it's not all doom and gloom out there in that construction industry. So thank you again for your time. As always, if you've enjoyed this episode, please don't hesitate to recommend our podcast to your friends and family. Leave us a review on iTunes. It does help more people to find our episodes and benefit from the value that we share. As always, hope you have a fabulous week. We look forward to speaking with you again soon. Bye for now.